Hello everyone, Derek here from Get Lost Trails. Welcome back to the channel. First off, I must apologize. It has been so long since we've been together. It's been a busy summer for me. It's fall now, actually. I'm here near Durango, Colorado at the moment, getting ready to head up and ride the Alpine Loop. Today's route will take me on the southern portion of the $1 Million Highway, US 550, heading into the old mining town of Silverton before picking up the dirt and continuing up to the historic ghost town of Animas Forks. From there, the Alpine Loop splits. The road gets more challenging from here. I would consider it moderate, the west side that we'll be heading up being steeper than the east side. We're going to continue up towards Engineer Pass, climbing to an elevation of 12,800 feet or about 3,900 meters. Before continuing down the other side into Lake City, where we're going to grab a quick bite to eat and then camp for the night. Tomorrow we'll be continuing the Alpine Loop. This portion is generally considered similarly challenging to Engineer Pass, but I found the switchbacks on the eastern side of Cinnamon Pass a little challenging for me. We continue to climb, eventually reaching Cinnamon Pass at an elevation of 12,640 feet or 3,850 meters, before heading back down into Animas Forks, eventually returning to Silverton. This is going to be a great ride, so thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the video. Where the aspens are looking pretty good, the latter part of September here, on what's known as the $1 Million Highway. Coming into the historic town of Silverton here, getting ready to head out on the Alpine Loop. Looks like we got a couple bikers there on some KTMs. Probably been out riding. Just coming out of Silverton here. We are on a paved road for a little while. It's County Road 2. This will take us up towards Animas Forks, and then we're going to continue up to Engineer Pass. Kind of the interesting thing out here to me is that these high mountain pass roads that we're going to take that are 4x4 high clearance routes are actually county roads, maintained to some extent by the county. Very little extent, but they do sometimes do a little bit of plowing early in the season to get them open and run the dozer on them, kind of try to straighten them out a little bit. I was really hoping to get out this summer and ride some of the Colorado BDR, and unfortunately up to this point that just hasn't really panned out. There's been too much going on in my life, and we're gonna go do the Alpine Loop though. That does constitute part of the BDR anyway. A lot of old mining history up here in the area, especially around Silverton. This is part of the Mayflower Mill, I believe. You can actually tour that. It's owned by the County Historical Society or something, I believe, today. Overhead tram buckets would have brought ore down from the mines high up in the mountains. The road up to Eureka should be a pretty decent, wide, well-maintained gravel road like this. Then past that up towards Animas Forks, it'll get a little rougher. Past Animas Forks, it's kind of where the more serious stuff starts, I guess. Coming up to what's left of Eureka here. Campground that operates seasonally there. Looks like it's pretty well closed down and abandoned for the season. One person in there, but some old foundations right there in front of us are pretty cool. All that remains of what I'm guessing is a mill of some sorts. And the road deteriorates from here. You don't really need full drive to get up to Animas Forks. Just a decent vehicle really will get you there. It's a little rough, obviously, but wouldn't recommend a passenger car, I guess. Probably kind of hard on your tires with all these rocks. Animas Forks is a very popular destination, as you can see. Animas Forks, which is located at an elevation of 11,160 feet or about 3,400 meters, started developing in the 1870s and was established as a town by 1875. By the 1880s, over 450 people lived in Animas Forks, and it had a newspaper and a post office for a while. As with most mining towns, though, things would eventually decline. By the early 1900s, things had slowed down, and by 1910, the Gold Prince Mill had closed. By 1920, it was pretty much a ghost town. Today, many buildings remain on site, being preserved and stabilized in the 1990s by the Bureau of Land Management. The site was placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 2011, and today over 100,000 people visit the site each year. You can completely skip Animas Forks if you want to hang to the right there just before you get up there, but it doesn't really shorten the route, and you might as well see it if you've went that far. From Animas Forks there, it's just about 5.5 miles, under 9 kilometers, up to Engineer Pass itself. From there, continue on into Lake City. You can see some fresh snowfall on the north-facing slopes there in front of us. I don't think there'll be anything up at the pass, or nothing of any substance to cause issues at this point, but we are starting to see some snow out here already in the high elevations. Alright, there it is, the Alpine Loop. Certainly going to encounter some of these slower moving vehicles along the route here. Let's see if we can bypass this guy. Alright, we're kind of making a decision here. Where's that guy gonna go? My God, the courtesy. Didn't take long to get into some alpine country coming out of Animas Forks there. Knock on wood, but so far the road's actually been pretty good. I mean, it's 100% manageable. I'm sure it gets more difficult than this, but I mean, I'd call this easy. Now this corner could be a little trickier. Oh, yeah, that's a little trickier. I did not want to really go that way, huh, did I? Okay. Engineer Pass, Lake City. Oh, there's a pretty little lake over there. Better watch where I'm going though. Looks like a little loose rock here. And you can kind of see the switchbacks starting there in front of us as we work our way up. We're definitely approaching the more difficult section here. Off to the right, we're going to stay Engineer Pass, Lake City. I'm kind of just holding back a little bit because that Forerunner or whatever that is, I don't want to just end up right up next to them. Need to keep some momentum. Alright guys, this is definitely where the real road begins. I'm gonna try to stay out of that looser stuff over there, but Switchbacks are kind of my nemesis, I guess, at this point. One of the biggest challenges that I face. Talk about something that's a straight up workout. This is a straight up workout for the bike and me. Yeah, see that hill climb in front of me? Oof. Alright, stopped and took a little break there, kind of caught my breath. We got kind of a serious hill climb here, so I needed to collect myself a little for this. Well, honestly, that was a little more intimidating looking than it really was. Wow, look at this. Look at the snow. Oh. We've successfully made it to Engineer Pass.
What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
That was Engineer Pass at 12,800 feet. Gonna head on into Lake City now. It's just about 20 miles or 36 kilometers on into there. Probably grab a bite to eat or something maybe. It's just gonna kind of be mid-afternoon, I'm guessing. This is going a little better than I expected, to be honest. A little faster than I expected. You know, it was pretty steep there in a spot, but just glad it wasn't a bunch of loose stuff. I tell you, I said earlier my nemesis is switchbacks, and really my real nemesis is baby heads. And Ophir Pass, if you've ever been on it, the west side, oh my god, it's terrible. It's terrible. But anyway, this was pretty decent. Of course, we still got to get to Lake City, but we've certainly done the more challenging part of it there. Pick up some speed here on a pretty nice smooth road at this point. I'm sure it won't be all like this into town, but it's a nice change of pace here. Coming up to some old mine ruins here. We're here at the Bonanza Empire Chief Mill, or what remains of it behind us there. The Bonanza lode was first discovered in 1885, but it wouldn't be until the early 1900s when mining started here. The veins weren't found to be particularly profitable. Mining ceased pretty quickly, did eventually restart in the 1920s. Before the mine finally ceased operations, an avalanche wiped out the main office and bunkhouse in 1929. Wouldn't be the last time snow affected the mine. The mill was actually wiped out in 2008 by an avalanche as well. Coming into the old ghost town of Capital City. Some new developments around here as well, it looks like, but a little of the historic structures remain. We've made it to the Ute-Ulay historic mine and townsite. Gold was first discovered here in 1871. They claim that it's the first patented mining claim here in Hinsdale County. Behind us here, you can see the head frame where ore would have been lifted from deep in the earth through a vertical shaft. The primary operations here at the mine were between 1874 and 1903. During those 29 years, they extracted what was $12 million worth of gold, silver, and other ores at the time. Today's value would be over $280 million. Of course, there's a big part of the adventure in me that wants to go explore the mill building some, but I mean, technically it's off limits and who knows if it's structurally stable. A lot of other cool buildings down here as well. You can kind of walk around here quite a bit. There's some areas that are off limits, of course, but it's pretty neat to stop here, take a little time to see some of the history. Well, it's a good thing I didn't plan to drive the whole loop today. It's about 5 o'clock. Of course, I didn't get the earliest start because I had to drive into Silverton from where I was at. So, you know, that killed some time, and I stop and do things like this and enjoy the sights along the way. So, you know, a lot of people would drive that Alpine Loop in one day, and you can absolutely do that if you want. You need to get an earlier start than me and start there in Silverton and stuff like that. But this time of year, the daylight hours are also getting shorter. I still got a couple hours of daylight left. I was kind of hoping to get into Lake City, get some gas and some food, and then find some place to camp. Now I have food with me. I could eat. So we'll see. I don't think I'm that far from, I'm 3 miles from Lake City, so it should be a pretty quick drive on in there. Road's pretty decent, you know, just got some potholes and stuff in it, but nothing too bad. Nice pretty drive through the canyon on into town here. I have seen plenty of camping options. I'm not really sure that looked like camping. I'm not sure if it's just free camping, but there's plenty of dispersed camping available, you know, along that route. Planned on just kind of starting up Cinnamon just far enough to find a place to camp for the night. Lake City Brewing Company looks like the kind of popular place to eat right there at the end of the trail itself. I'm gonna jump down here. This is such a big town, let me tell you. You don't blink and you're gonna miss it. If you thought Silverton was a small town, Lake City is even smaller. Yeah, not a whole lot to Lake City. Pretty small town. Some restaurants and stuff as you'd expect. Gas station up here somewhere, right here. This will work. $4.99. That's actually not as terrible as I thought it might be. This is pretty rare. He told me I could pump and then pay. Well, just got some gas there. Didn't take much. I had right at 40 miles from Silverton to Lake City, exactly. So it's pretty cool. Let's drive around and see where we're gonna find to eat. I'm gonna grab something kind of quick because I'd like to find a place to sleep before it gets dark. You know, what's kind of crazy is Lake City is the county seat of Hinsdale County, and that's the courthouse built in 1877. Sheriff's office there. Go back down here to kind of the main strip. It's Silver Street. It's really not even the main street, but kind of seems like the main street anyway. Packer Saloon is very closed, it seems, so we won't be eating there. And there's not a ton of options, and several of them are closed, and I'm just gonna go back to the brewery. Headed out of Lake City here. It's about 10 after 6. Just got about maybe 20-30 minutes to go out of town to get someplace to camp. I think should be all right. Sun sets at 7 o'clock here. The thing is, with the mountain ranges and stuff, you know, you can see it's already gone from right here. Supper was all right at the bar. I mean, a $15 toasted sandwich, whatever. It was pretty good though. I mean, it was better than it probably looked like it would be, I guess. Alright, County Road 30 here, Cinnamon Pass is open. Lake San Cristobal, I guess is what it's called. Really pretty here tonight as the sun's setting. Reflections of the aspens there. Now there's a county campground around this lake. I don't know. I think it's on the other side. Well, also apparently some private houses. So yeah, I'm gonna go up in here a little ways to find a place to camp. I've made it to Williams Creek Campground here in the Gunnison National Forest, located just about 10 miles or 16 kilometers outside of Lake City. It is a developed Forest Service campground, 20 bucks a night, but you know what? That's not bad. I get a picnic table, a fire ring, which I probably won't use. I found a free chair by the dumpster, which is nice because I don't bring a chair with me. And even better, I don't have to dig a cat hole in the morning because there's an outhouse right over there. And there's also running water and trash service. So really, I think I'm just gonna spend the 20 bucks tonight. Got my tent all set up before the sun is completely gone. Pretty pleased with that. It's pretty nice little setting in here. Gonna probably sit down. I actually have phone service here, so I might sit down and catch up on some stuff from my phone from the day. Although I probably should try to disconnect a little bit, but you know, life is life, so probably just relax a little bit. Sun's gonna be fading away pretty soon, and enjoy our evening. Well, good morning. My phone says it's 36 degrees in Lake City. Now, I'm not sure that it's... My GoPro's at 52% battery, but it's died twice instantly, so it must be fairly cold. Yeah, make that died 3 times, and it's an enduro battery, so must be fairly chilly out, but I'm gonna snuggle up in my sleeping bag for a little while longer and also let this camera warm up with me, and then get out and fix some breakfast and get ready to go and ride this. An hour later, me and the GoPro are both barely warm enough to function. Sun is up. Unfortunately, it's over there on the opposite side of the mountain, but we're gonna get some tea made, get some breakfast in me, and then head over Cinnamon Pass. I managed to find one spot in my campsite to set the chair that the sun is hitting, so that's pretty nice. From here, it's about 20 miles over to Animas Forks, and then it's about another 10 miles on into Silverton for about a total of 30 miles, give or take. But anyway, should be a pretty good day. I don't really know what we're going to do after that. We'll just see how the day goes. That might pretty well wrap it up. Might have a little time left in my day, but I also need to head back to where I came from as well. So I'm going to wrap up this morning, get my stuff packed up. It's probably going to be at least 9 o'clock before we get started today. I thought I'd check, see what the bike says the temperature is, and it reads 6 degrees Fahrenheit, which is wrong because it's been modified. It's 36 degrees off, which makes it 42 degrees here, about 8:30. So it's starting to warm up a little bit. I noticed there was some frost on the dumpster over there. All right, headed out of the campground here. Williams Creek Campground. Not too bad of a place to stay for the night. Gonna be heading up towards Cinnamon Pass. It's about 9:45, it looks like. It's warmed up nicely. Well guys, I missed the turn to Wager Gulch, which takes you up to Carson Ghost Town. But we're gonna run over here this short little drive over to the Sherman townsite. I'm not sure if there's anything over here. I really wasn't expecting that Wager Gulch turn to be quite so quick into the route, so wasn't really looking for it. Didn't have it punched into my GPS, so not going back either at this point. Leave something for you to explore if you want. Okay, here we are at the Sherman townsite, founded in 1877. There's one log cabin ruin. Oh, here's another one. So yeah, it doesn't look like there's a lot left, but there is a little bit still out here. Alright, rejoining the main road here up to Cinnamon Pass. Steep, narrow road. No trailers or motorhomes. It's warmed up quite quickly out. I may have to take the liner out of my jacket today. I think it's supposed to be a little warmer than yesterday even, and by warmer I mean like, I don't know, low 70s probably, but too hot to be riding in slow conditions with a thermal liner in. It's kind of cool. There's some areas up here where you're allowed to camp. In fact, they even have fire rings and they're kind of designated spots. They probably want to keep people from sprawling out everywhere, I'm sure, but I could have came on up here and camped last night. It wouldn't have been a problem, but it would have been getting dark by the time I got here, and also just that much colder. We have, of course, went up some in elevation. here. I'm not sure if you gotta drive back in here, but that is a pretty awesome view, isn't it? Well, I'm glad I went back in there to the American Basin. I mean, there's not much back there but some scenery, really. Good place to have some lunch, though, for me. And we're gonna get back out of here, get back on the road to Cinnamon Pass, and hopefully do that without crashing. Nah, it's not too bad. This is the gnarliest part of it right through here, and this one side's actually pretty decent, so little water crossing, which right now doesn't really amount to much. Now in the spring it probably could be a little more serious, but right now no problem. All right, back on the main road here, headed towards Cinnamon Pass. All right, are we coming up to a switchback or just a curve? Oh, hey, there's some houses. Oh. Oh, I better be more committed than that. Oh, yeah, I would have never made that just in one foul swoop. Let's pull up here and recompose myself. Alright, so I was coming up the hill here. It really wasn't paying that much of attention and wasn't fully committed to this switchback. I tell you, I don't remember the switchbacks being so severe on Engineer, but these are some pretty tight ones right here, and I should have been able to come to the outside and make that, I think, but ended up shooting off to this little corner, and I'm just going to spin the bike around here and try to head on up. I do have one side-by-side coming down, it looks like, and then we'll give this a shot. Better get up on the pegs. Okay. Now, the unknown of these. There we go. That's how I should do it every time. Just work it around the corner. Commit. So unfortunately yesterday, in a bit of excitement, I ripped off one of my camera mounts, swinging my foot over, so some of those interesting camera angles are kind of hard to get now. Unless I can shoot handheld, which is definitely tricky out here sometimes. Get pretty close to the pass at this point. In fact, you can see the frame for the sign up there. For some reason, there's no signs in those. There wasn't one word Engineer either, if they're supposed to be. I don't know, but I think we pretty much got this whipped from here on the approach. Now downhill could be interesting. I don't know, but yeah, here we are, approaching the pass. There's that yellow FJ was going around the corner. Cinnamon Pass, elevation 12,640 feet. Alright, headed down the backside. Headed down Cinnamon Pass towards Animas Forks, eventually Silverton. Oh wow, we're already back into Animas Forks. That was quick. Well guys, we've made the loop. We're back to, we're just below Animas Forks here. Headed back in the direction of Silverton now. It is 2:30. So that actually went a little faster than I thought. It's not very far it's not very far on the west side once you get to the pass at all. Now we just got a bumpy road to get back to Silverton. Back down here to Eureka, to the much better road. Essentially that completes the Alpine Loop. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that journey. Now I took 2 days to do that. Do you have to take 2 days to do that? No. It's like between 70 and 90 miles, I believe, depending on exactly where you start. If you go off into any side roads, of course, it's going to add to it, but I know some people will do it in a day. For me, it's not about just getting around it, it's about enjoying the experience. And I tend to not be the fastest rider, and also stop and take breaks and enjoy the views. And certainly if you weren't camping and you're just going to go ride that loop in one day, you could take a lot less gear and probably ride faster and be lighter and all that, and that's an option for you as well. Certainly different people have different preferences about how to tackle things. Overall, I really enjoyed the experience, and I hope you did too. Thanks for joining me on the journey. I'm going to head back to Silverton now. It's about 3 o'clock, so there's still some daylight left. So there could be some bonus footage. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to go ahead and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. I really appreciate all the new subscribers that have joined me over the summer, even though I really haven't put out any videos. So welcome to all the new subscribers, and I have like 90% of you that watch aren't even subscribed, so it'd be really cool to get that over 1,000. Now this isn't part of the day's plans, but have a little time. Let's run up here towards Red Mountain and see some stuff. Did these people park in the middle of the road? Oh, they did. The road ends. Oh, this road doesn't go anywhere. I thought it did. They must have blocked it off. Oh, well. Must be the upper road that I'm thinking of. Yeah. Well, that also wasn't part of the day's plans. Oh yeah, this is the road I wanted to start with. This should take us back here along some more mines. I've done this before, but it's been a while, and I'm not gonna show you all of it today. We don't have time, and it's beyond the scope of this video, but we'll take you over here through just a little bit of it. Yeah, right over there you can see the head frame of one of the many vertical shaft mines here in this area. This is like the Bell, I think the Bell something. This actually used to be quite a pretty good sized town back here, and had narrow gauge rail service at one time, back when things were booming before they went bust. All that really remains today is the head frame of that and this little building here. Now we could walk up there, or I could just reference my other video at this point. So if you want to see more of this cool mining stuff here in the Red Mountain Mining District, be sure to check out that video. Alright guys, I could spend all day riding around up in here. There's a lot of mining history if you're into that. I do highly recommend checking out this area. Gonna run back out here to 550, hit the switchbacks into Ouray. It's pretty cool. As much as I enjoy being off-road and avoiding the highway, I will say 550, especially between Silverton and Ouray, is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and hit that while we're up this way. Almost to Ouray. For what reason, I don't know. I drove over here out of sheer boredom, I guess. Welcome to Ouray. Gonna just take a quick drive through town, spin around and head back. This is really the opposite direction that I need to be going, but whatever. Who doesn't love some good turn-of-the-century architecture? The one thing, this is a neat town, but it's just a little more commercialized than I care for, but it's a pretty cool town though. course, the town of Ouray, like a lot of mountain towns, owes its roots to the mining industry. Today, it's pretty much tourism. Pretty much entirely tourism. 23 miles back to Silverton, 74 to Durango. Got a little bit of cruising ahead of us yet this evening. Need to work our way back home so we can have some supper. Hope those boys got some breaks. Yeah, that right there was Imogene Pass to our right, where those BMWs are coming out of. I wonder if they rode over. County Road 18 there will take you over to Animas Forks and Engineer Pass. Now, I've never been on that road right there, but I think it's pretty gnarly, like probably over my skill level gnarly. But it would be a cool option. When we came back there off Cinnamon, we could have cut up here and came right out there and then just brought the highway back. But yeah, I really wasn't up for that today. I might not be up for that at all, but might be a cool option if you're a really good rider. Alright guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. You can see, even though it's only like 5 o'clock, the sun is crested over those mountains, blanketing the canyon in a shadow here. Eventually we should see it again before I get to my destination for the evening, but that's pretty well going to wrap this video up, guys. Thanks again for sticking around for the bonus content. Again, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that. My summer's wrapping up, which means maybe I can get out and ride more, which is a weird thing to say for most people, but that's what it means for me.